Today we're taking our first look at the Case IH Magnum 340-400 Series Special Edition FL from MackTrucker921.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
You may recognize this tractor from Farming Simulator 22, as it was one of the tractors that I used on a few of my series, including the one on Edgewater, Saskatchewan. In the video, I'm going to take you through every single customization option. We're going to take it for a spin, and we're going to take it out in the field and show you what this thing can really do. So sit back and relax, check the timestamps for what you want to see first, and let's jump right in. First things first, we have two different things in here. We have the tractor itself as well as the front loader. The Magnum itself has got a bunch of engine options. So we start off with a 374 horsepower engine. We can also bump that up to a 418. Then we go to the 435, which has a power shift instead of CVT. We also bump that up a little bit more to 658 horsepower. And then a little bit interesting, so it's got two of the SE engines. Then we go up to 886. Yes, 886 horsepower. Two options for that. And then the big one, 1341. It's basically a truck engine. Whenever we get into it, it's got a Jake brake and everything. It's super interesting. I can't wait to show that to you. Wheel options include Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Vredestein, and Nokian, as well as Lizard puncture tires. Pretty much all of them are the same minus a few, so we'll just go over Trelleborg, which is basically the same as Vredestein, as well as Michelin, stuff like that. So you've got a wheel weight, you've got wides with weights, you've got a wide 2 with weights, then you've got the narrow twins, you get a rear twin, you get a rear twin a little bit larger, then you get twins all the way around, a little larger, a little smaller options, then you've got your crawler track broad, and then the 3-meter setup for that, and then back to standard. It's going to be the same for Michelin as well as Continental. Midas is a little bit different because in here we've actually got some super singles, which is cool, and we've even got super single duals, which I love tremendously. Nokian's also a little bit different because we have the Tractor King as well as the Road King tires, so you can go back and forth between those. Those do include wheel weights, we've got wides, we've got duals, all kinds of stuff, so if you're looking for some of that, well, those exist as well, even with the track options. For the customization options in this video at the beginning, at least, we're just going to go with Trelleborg standard since everybody knows what those look like. Now, we have warning signs along towards the back. You have the US as well as the EU. Window tint is a bit. So you've got a standard set, then you basically have styles 1, 2, and 3. And they're all a little bit darker than each other, although I don't really think this is a 25, 50, 75 thing. This is more like a 75, 85, 95 kind of thing. Around towards the front for attachments, you've got your 3-point as well as a 1035 kg, 1750, and the 2030. So you've got a lot of weight options through there, plus you got your 3-point, so you can put anything you want there. Then, the front loader. Yes, we do have that front loader. You will need to use the one that comes in the box, as none of the rest of them will work. Then we have colors, and boy oh boy, there's a lot to choose from in here. So everything from right here in the middle, this white, everything from the left up is a custom color. And yes, there's even toothpaste tractor. So that's great news. Of course, you can go in and set your own if you would like, but hey, you've got all of these different options to choose from. But if you just wanted to go with Case Red, there's nothing wrong with that. It is a case after all. We've also got options for front grille, interior plastic trim, interior fabric roof trim, main leather seat color, rear leather seat trim, and rim color. So tons and tons of options for everything there. And don't worry, Case IH Beige is an option for some of those plastic bits. I prefer those over the black. I assume the black would probably get a little hot during the day anyway, so this is the way to go. I would guess that 9 out of 10 players are probably going to set this up this way. Of course, everything's set to all black by default. However, this is kind of the first option here. You also have a communal set too, or Kubota orange rather. So if you wanted to go with that, you could do that too. And of course, you can't forget about your license plate placement types. We've got front and back or back only. Once you got your tractor, then you need to go over and get yourself a front loader. Now, the attacher type is not the part that goes on the tractor, it's what goes on your tool. So for here, we've got front loader set. You've also got telehandler and wheel loader. So depending on what tool you have, you could choose whichever ones of those you want. We also have all of the same color options to go along with this if you wanted to change that up. So for example, everything there in orange is your design color, and everything in orange now is your main color, chassis color. of course. Now, the version that you guys saw at the very beginning is a fully maxed out with Midas super singles and a front massive weight. If we bop around, we grab our flashlight here. We can see the special edition along towards the side, everything around. If we get down here, we can actually read the logos. Again, I think that's very important. It seems to be this new standard, so I don't know if I need to keep repeating myself with that, but it is important to note because for a long time, we couldn't read those. So I think it's important to let you guys know that. Also, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but this is coming to Mod Hub. It's going to be for all platforms, which is very, very awesome. If we go in here in first person, kind of look around just a little bit, I like to show you guys everything in these mod previews. Take a look behind the seat. I've actually got a mod installed that allows me to kind of turn around and look. We can also lean over it just to kind of see. Hey, I dig it, man. I dig it. On the top, we've got all of your controls and things like that. That's pretty sweet. And you got speakers all the way around. Tell you what, in real life, I've driven one of these, a Magnum, but I've not turned the radio on. I think that'd be pretty epic. Let's turn this on, and let's take a look and see what we can do. Yeah, you might be able to hear the turbo one. Yes, it does go 124 miles an hour. Actually, it goes 125 miles an hour. So there's nothing that we can do in here. And that has a train horn. Let's see if I can get that real quiet for you guys. So a very awesome train horn there indeed. Of course, we have the front loader, which is fantastic. So if we pull forward just a little bit with that, we can hook up to it. It is much larger than the other stuff, but hey, check that out. Look at that reach. Goodness gracious. On a Magnum of all things. This is nice, especially for those of you guys that don't do a lot of stuff with a front loader, but still need one, but you need a big tractor. It does seem, at least for me in my gameplay series, the larger the tractors I need, the fewer front loaders that I end up needing. But still, sometimes you need them, so this would be perfect, especially for moving like cotton. This would be fantastic for moving cotton. There's one thing to note. Yes, you can get the full 124 miles per hour. Actually, reaches 125. However, you cannot select tracks. If you go with tracks, it is limited to 24 or 25 miles per hour. So again, if you're going to be going fast, which I want to, then you need to make sure that you select one of the wheel options. So I'm going to go in here. We're going to go with a Michelin twin wheel. Hopefully this will keep us on the road. Nah, let's go with this. There we go. Now that's what I'm talking about. All blacked out with massive, massive setups. Ask me how I figured out about the tracks going slower. So if you get out on the road and you gun it, this thing is going to move. Now, in order to get this, you will have to get the larger engine, but boy, does it go. When you let off, it's got a Jake brake. How fantastic is that? The brakes work about as good as you would expect going that fast, so see where you're going and plan ahead because you will need to slow down. But once you get moving, it goes. It's really smooth. I've currently got my, I'm using a controller on PC, and I've got everything turned up to the max as far as the steering goes. And I'm not having any problems. Yeah, we're hitting a little bump here and there, and the steering is not as quick as I would hope it would be. But it does work, which is pretty cool. There you go. There's 125 miles an hour just for you guys. And it will fly. Ooh, let's see. All right, well, maybe not today. But, oh boy, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Well, that's one way to slow down. It's also important to remember you do not have to drive like me. I drive like an absolute Neanderthal. But you could drive just fine. Nice and easy. You can still utilize the power of the engine, but hey, throw some tracks on it, you're good to go. You'll lock yourself down to 25 miles an hour. But this is pretty sweet. I mean, especially for having fun, maybe setting up a tractor race or something like that. Hey, you could have a lot of fun with your friends playing Farming Simulator 25 using this thing. Yeah, a little bit of air there, nothing too crazy. Now, I also wanted to show just how much horsepower and raw, like, this thing has. So this is the 400 version. So this doesn't have anything wild crazy with horsepower. It's only got, I think, 800 horsepower. I say nothing crazy. It's got about 800 horsepower still. But we've got a whole 141,000 liters of lime in the back of this. This is just the base game walkabout mother bin. And if I hit the gas in this field, we get moving. Now, this also has the Midas duals on it. So depending on which wheels you go with, the tires, it will depend on how fast you get up and get moving. But this will go, and I assure you that this tractor will pull this mother bin, or anything else for that matter, faster than anything else in the game will. There's nothing that's going to do better than this. I mean, look at that. We're going 22 miles an hour already. You can probably get up to speed a little bit better if you keep it forward. Total speed for this one's going to be 42 miles an hour. So if we wanted to, we could definitely hit that, at least in the right conditions. So if you like doing large-scale stuff, base game maps may not be the place for this. I'll be honest with you. I think you guys know that as much as I do. Base game maps are a little bit tight and a little bit big. Maybe on the Asian map, this may work just a tad bit better than the USA map. However, nonetheless, it does work. Does jackknife a bit, though, doesn't it? Again, don't drive like me. Learn from my mistakes. But again, I don't think there's anything that's going to pull this thing just as good as this case does. He recommends some extra weight on it. No, I'm stuck. That's my fault. Then we're going to do a quick test with 3 of these because, of course, we showed off the mother bin. We're going to use the Summers Super Chisel, the Kverneland Big Old Plow, I don't know the name of it, and the Massive Disc Harrow, which I think requires the most power other than the Summers, the Bednar Schwiffe-Disc. I do have to say, first person is a little bit dark in here with all the windows blacked out, but hey. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, right? So let's get this out in the field. I'm very, very aware that this is a bit overkill, and they're gonna do just fine. But I just wanna see it. So let's do it, man. Here is our Swifter disc, and we are I mean, it hit 11 miles an hour so fast. Look at this, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're there. Goodness gracious, what happens if we unlock the speed with a little bit of speedy mod? That's crazy. This thing's super heavy and really difficult to work with. And it just doesn't care, does it? How about our plow? Let's see how this thing gets along, and we're already up to speed. It's almost ridiculous. Overpower is the word that comes to mind here. So if you guys want some overpowered tractors, these are definitely the ones to start with. I don't think you're going to find anything else much more overpowered than this is right now, at least. And the one I'm most interested in, this is the, what was this thing on the back of this again? The Summers Super Chisel, there you go. I don't use any of this stuff in my normal gameplay, so I don't know. Let's kick it, and obviously, almost immediately, it gets right up to speed. I chose this field specifically because it is uphill. So let's unlock the speed, because obviously it's having no issues whatsoever keeping the speed. Let's unlock the speed and just see how well we could do going uphill with an implement that requires, was it 640 horsepower? There's like 2 tractors in the game that can manage this thing. But now there's 3, I guess, huh? Look at that. 15 miles an hour up the hill like it's nothing, like it's going out of style. That's ridiculous, man. Now, obviously, for the way that I enjoy the game and things like that, I'm not just playing for realism's sake or this or that or whatever. I like to have fun, and mods like this allow you guys to have fun as well without having to modify or anything like that. This is just the way it's gonna come. And having a Jake brake on a tractor, I never thought I wanted it, and now I can't live without it. I do want to thank MackTrucker921 for sending this over to show you guys ahead of its release on the mod up for all platforms and Farming Simulator 25. Absolutely love this tractor. I fell in love with it back in Farming Simulator 22, and it's here again. There are a couple things that are missing on this that will be hopefully added in future updates. That's including your beacon lights and strobes and things like that. Those are not going to be included as far as I know in the first version of it. However, they should be coming later on down the line. So don't worry about that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. I'll catch you in the next one.